All right, we got to make sure that you understand the difference between ligaments and tendons. Now, ligaments and tendons are both part of the skeletal and muscular systems. Ligaments and tendons are connective tissue. Okay? That means they connect things together. What do they connect together? Well, let's find out. First, we'll start with ligaments. Okay. So, ligaments, it turns out, help connect bone to bone. All right, so have a look at this picture of a hand. You see that there's bone right here and bone right here in the thumb. Okay, what's connecting them together? It's a ligament. Okay, ligaments connect bone to bone. Now, one way you could try and remember that is you've got a bone, then you've got a ligament, and then you've got another bone. And that sort of looks like the word blob. Okay, so bone, ligament, bone sort of spells blob. All right, tendons then, they connect bone to muscle. Now let's have a look at this picture of an arm. Okay, we've got bone connecting to muscle. Right here, this must be a tendon. It's connecting bone to muscle. So if you've got bone and then you've got muscle being connected, what's in between must be a tendon. How do you remember that? Well, it's bone, tendon, muscle, sort of spells bottom. Okay? Not blob, but bottom. B-T-M. All right. So, again, how are you going to remember the difference between ligaments and tendons? Well, if you've got bone connected to bone, it must be a ligament, so it can spell BLB or blob. And if you've got bone connecting to muscle, then it must be a tendon, so it spells out bottom. Blob and bottom. All right, let's have a look at this picture of an arm. What is this thing right here? Well, it's connecting bone to muscle, so it must be a tendon. That's right, a tendon. Bone to muscle spells bottom. All right, now let's look at this picture of a knee. All right, so if we want to look at this thing right here, what is that connecting? Well, it's connecting some bone to some more bone. Bone to bone. What is in between bone to bone? Must be a ligament. Sort of spells blob. Now, let's have a look at another part of this diagram. What is this that's connecting some bone to some muscle? Well, if it's connecting bone to muscle, then what is in between bone and muscle? It's got to be a tendon, because it spells out bottom. All right, that has been your lesson in telling the difference between tendons and ligaments. Remember, blob and bottom. Bone, ligament, bone spells blob, sort of. And bone, tendon, muscle spells bottom, sort of.